So, Gina,
Yes.
we have come to the end of this season.
I'm sorry, what?
You're listening to...
Jom Sembang Malaysia.
Okay lah, it has been a very short season,
Yes.
25 episodes, but you didn't feel that short. I don't
Yeah.
know how we did 100 episodes before this.
I
It
also
must
don't
be
know.
insane. But yeah, good to have completed 25 episodes in this very busy year actually.
Yeah. How do you feel? Do you feel like it's been different in this 25 compared to the first 100?
I find that this 25 was a little bit more difficult to find topics to talk about.
Uh-huh.
Just a little bit in the sense that we have talked so much in 100 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And then we thought we would take a break, but the break didn't last for more than 2 months or whatever.
Because we found a sponsor. Yeah.
Yeah, we found a
Thank you so
sponsor.
much, Joy Luck Penang.
Yeah, and then we jump into talking. So I think the first 2 months I struggled a little bit to find some topics to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
But after that it was a bit easier because then I said, I must like really experience more life to come back to the studio to
Yeah.
talk about. Then I do think the conversations are a little bit more carefree because probably we have gotten used to just talking after 100 episodes.
I guess a bit more free to share stories. I guess without worrying that people who listen might judge us or
Oh,
be
that's the
offended.
good thing, you see. People who listen don't tell us they are listening. So I just pretend no one is listening and I can talk non-stop.
Suddenly I have people telling me, oh, I heard your podcast. I'm like, okay, did I say anything about you? No.
Yeah. So yeah, it's been quite an interesting one for me. I think we also dive deeper into certain topics that we did cover in the first season. That maybe we just cover the surface or whatever.
Yeah.
The second season, we really go deep. So you realize that sometimes we say, okay, we just talk about 4 pointers and then one pointer already lead to the break. And then we're like, I think we cover 2 only. Because otherwise it'll be a 1 hour long episode. That's a good sign, right? Then we have things to talk about.
True. I think for me, this season helped me to understand more about you also. I mean, sometimes you don't really talk about things or, you're working on different
Actually, we do
things.
talk about things. But
We
then you
do?
see, Juwita and me, we really have a lot of work things to talk about. That we don't spend the extra time or try to find the extra time to talk about non-work stuff because it's already tiring just talking about work stuff.
So when we're sitting here, we have no choice but not talk about work.
Yeah.
Unless it's about stress or anxiety.
So the other good thing is also coming to the studio to talk really gives me the break. Like I come to the studio, it's a completely world where I need to go on airplane mode. I look at the different lights and different settings and then look at the microphone. And it feels like I'm very present in having this conversation with you. And therefore the conversation is able to be vulnerable, deep and honest. Like I don't have to like talk halfway and say, after this someone texts her and then she's not listening,
so
she's
bad.
stuck here because she's got airplane mode. More of that kind of stuff. Like
She makes me sound so bad.
being in a space that you know that you're not going to be interrupted while you process your thoughts or talk about it was my biggest gain in doing this podcast. But you are right. You got to know me a lot more in this season, I feel, because we allow ourselves to go deeper lah. And also we allow ourselves to make fun of ourselves without taking it personally lah. I mean, I also know you a lot more because you're mentioning stuff and I'm like,
Yeah, I think it's also, see now I forgot what I wanted to say. So, okay. You are kind of forced to go deeper into the topic. I mean, if it's your general... Okay, I am known as a very random person. My friends say I'm very random. I can hop from one topic to another, right? But in this sense, it's like, okay, today we're going to be talking about whatever, right? And somehow it forces me... Gina's quite deep lah. She can sit and think about the same thing for a long time, but me, not so. So it's good to force me to think a bit deeper, and then as you're talking, then I'm thinking, actually also... Yeah, before skipping to the next thing lah. Not like it's on purpose or not interesting, but sometimes there's just nothing to hold you to the ground,
But I have to thank you for being more vulnerable this season.
Oh,
Like I felt like, okay, I'm just going to take some step and then I just stabbed her and she didn't tell me like, why are you doing this in the podcast? Like certain situation that I know is a vulnerable spot for you or sensitive spot for you, but you were able to carry on the conversation instead of cutting short and Gina, please go talk about something else.
Okay.
I think that was what's refreshing in this season because there's so much more to learn. The idea of the podcast was really to be vulnerable in a very responsible way.
Mm,
Because we know that people are listening.
correct.
Okay, if you're having just two friends sitting down at a cafe, be vulnerable all you want. It's
Yeah,
between
yeah.
you and the person, right?
Correct.
But us is trying to be vulnerable yet be responsible because it's listened by other people that we also don't want to hurt other people.
Correct. Because in giving examples, we're talking about real life situations of people who know us.
So you will realize she's more censoring than me in the sense that she will just say, that brand lah, that brand lah, that brand. I cannot talk like that. I will just go, it's this brand, this brand, this brand. You know,
I know, but it's like, why give them the airtime?
That's why we are very different and it's very,
Yeah.
very interesting. But I hope that this season somehow brings everyone back to dig deep within themselves. To see whether that, not to say lah, you don't have to be vulnerable like us in front of the public lah, you know. You can be vulnerable like what Ju said. It makes you stop and think a little bit more deeper, you know, like we always have idea of, let's say, every generation is blaming every generation, but we don't sit down and understand or try to talk till we understand what is the underlying thing. And I think by sitting down and just giving that time to understand the underlying thing, you can solve a lot of things in the future lah. So I think the other thing I want to talk about is, you know, our sponsor, Joy Luck Penang.
Yes.
Thank you so much. So Juita has been to Joy Luck and Penang. I have not yet because we've been waiting for a chance to go and do other stuff. There's a very, very interesting thing to do.
Yeah.
So maybe we can talk a little bit about Joy Luck.
Oh,
Because I don't know if everybody noticed by now, we don't anyhow take sponsor one.
that's true.
When Joy Luck came around, it's like, why suddenly? And then I don't expect to find a sponsor so fast. I wanted to take a break, but then, you know.
Correct.
And then we sat down with the owner to chit-chat and understand what exactly is she doing in life, what she's trying to achieve with Joy Luck. And we thought we resonated with her vision, her values, and then we took her on as a sponsor. And then Ju went to the place. So now I need to like be jealously asking you like, maybe tell us a little bit more about Joy Luck, the place in Penang.
Okay. The place, Okay, so if I remember correctly, it's in a housing area. I know it's in Tanjung Bunga. You know Penang better than me, lah, Gina, but it's Tanjung Bunga is nearer to the seaside, lah. Huh? You drive in, it's a unsuspecting. What's the word? Yeah, it's
She just said unsuspecting.
it's just a house, right? You go in, there's a driveway. What's really cool there, right, is imagine a bungalow house, 2-story. Okay, upstairs is private lah.
Okay.
So it's kept for friends or people that she knows who need to stay. But the downstairs area, it's basically a living room. Okay. So remember we talked about home cafes in one of our episodes. This one is like you can go and hang out in a living room. So I can imagine as a visitor to Penang, right? I don't always want to have meet up in a cafe or a restaurant, or if not, then what? I go shopping, or where else do I hang out and talk to friends lah? So in a sense,
in Penang it's just weird. Talking to friends is like at the char kway teow shop, and then you cannot sit for long.
and then you
People are waiting for queue.
hot. It's like,
Like you always have to go and find a shopping mall or somewhere to social without the whole food galore kind of thing.
Correct. So I remember the other day she wanted to hang out. So the owner of this, she brought me to this place where we had drinks and snacks. Then I'm thinking, now in hindsight, right? She could have just brought us to her own place. Maybe it's her own place, so she wanted to change of scenery lah. But you can sit there, chat. It's like a living room, but it's not somebody living there kind of living room.
So I think what really stuck me when she talked to me was she said Joy Luck was like a community space.
Yes.
People can come. You are not forced to get buy something, but you can get a drink if you want.
Yeah.
Or make a donation or you want. Bring your pet, sit down, chit chat, chill at a garden.
Yes.
And apparently the bungalow is like you can't hear the roads and busy roads.
Yes. It's far away from the road.
Yeah,
so you
it's a
feel
little bit secluded. That kind of feel.
Correct.
But what I really like is, so she said the people there are very, it's the kind of community I would want. It's like the auntie kind. I say, today I cook asam laksa. I retired, I sell asam laksa 40 years or whatever. But once a while I want to cook.
Yes.
But I want to cook, but nobody eat lah because, I'm a hawker. I used to cook 80 people pack. Now I cannot cook 20 pack or whatever. And they will cook a huge asal-asal I just put there and then
But they'll
people
tell
can...
in advance lah.
Yeah.
So if you look up their socials, right, they're like, okay, there's a
That special
set
asam
menu.
laksa from 20 years ago.
If you
has,
want, you order in
correct.
advance and then come with your friends.
Yeah, so
kind of thing.
it's the kind of a very easygoing charm that I think is quite interesting.
Yeah.
That I thought like, hey, this is a place that is supporting our podcast.
Yeah.
That I feel that I resonated with.
Yeah.
So let's take them on, that kind of thing.
Correct.
So I also remember that she says how she also helps certain young people. You want to practice to be barista? Yeah lah, make coffee for the uncle auntie lah,
Yeah.
And then she trained them up so that eventually they can, get a
Yeah.
job or something like that. Or like a craft that is being lost, like people make special kuih or whatever,
Yeah.
when they come from, let's say, Seberang Perai, mainland.
Yeah.
They just come in and say, hey, I'm coming on Sunday with my special, I don't know, putu or whatever.
Yeah.
And then she just makes an announcement, then people just turn up, you just sit down, eat and chill, and then someone just give a donation or pay a small token and that's it. That kind of place is where I don't mind growing old in, which is why I go, okay, I can resonate with this. Let's just do this and have another season of it.
She got a lot of other things that I like about that place. Like they got instruments there. I mentioned in the ads earlier. Apparently there's this guy who will just regularly go and just play on the piano for half an hour. Right? I don't know whether maybe he's got no piano at home or...
Yeah, you just never know.
Yeah, and it's just a release for him. So even when I went there to visit, I saw, hey, there's this ukulele or something sitting down there. And I just picked it up and I'm just doodling. There's something about creating music. Like you were playing on your game thing, right? Just making sounds, making music. That is therapeutic. So that is available there. And the other one was the fact that she said, you want to have talks, you want to have training, you can have it there. You just order a drink.
Correct.
So
like I remember the collection or whatever that your cost lah.
Yeah.
To do event there or whatever, is more for her to sustain.
Yes.
It's more for her to don't take us for granted. It didn't come across like I need your money.
Correct.
It come across as you need a place to do event. Have it here.
Yeah.
But if you possibly can buy a drink or whatever so that we can use your money and flush the toilet,
Yeah. Like pay it forward lah.
Yeah,
so
be
the next
mindful.
person can
Yes,
still
that's
use it
Correct.
lah. Because sometimes, right, I mean, there are a lot of people who do talks, trainings and everything for the money. It's like, I have this skill, I'm going to impart you pay me bucks for it, right? But a lot of times you and me lah, and I believe a lot of other people do it because we feel there is a need and there is a gap that you want to, like, even if it
Correct.
is your...
Between the people who can appreciate or rather afford professional training and the people who need the training but cannot afford.
Yeah, correct. And then sometimes you're thinking, wow, if I have to go and find a space to pay rental for it, it's not like I'm even getting paid a lot for it. And then it's like, wow, I have to spend money to...
And try to do
help
pro bono,
somebody.
yet I have to spend money to do pro bono.
So in a sense, this is a possibility for people to share their skills, share their knowledge without having to worry about, all those financial, logistic problems lah, which I really appreciate. Like, I think there was one thing that she said that really struck me. She said, here is where I can do the good that I want to do.
Okay.
And that makes me feel good without having to think about ROI, without having to think about the investors.
Correct. Because she was previously in the business world. ROI was everything.
Yeah. So everything you want to do, you have to
ROI it.
So that really struck me. Like, actually sometimes you want to do good. It's not that easy because this world is telling you that, what's the payback, right? So
True.
Yeah.
So the last thing that I really like about this season of podcast is it happened after I make some major decisions in my life.
Okay.
So there was a lot of contrast that I could talk about.
Right.
Because I said at the beginning of this year, I'm starting to cut down people or things that is taking up too much space.
Yeah.
I wanted work-life balance. I wanted to focus on myself a little bit more. And I wanted to take risks that I've never taken, stuff like that. So I think it enriched the conversation that we have because there was growth or there was towards growth that allowed me to talk things that might be slightly different when I talk first 100 episode.
True. Growth is a big thing, I think, in everything that we do, whether it's in work, in play, in creating. You need to take that time to experience something new. Otherwise, you got nothing new to say.
Correct.
You know, then you end up sounding like broken record, whether podcast or not, right? It's
yeah, no
just,
matter what your platform is, you know.
Yeah.
So for me, like as much as I would like another sponsor for a new season, I can be very honest here to say that we might not be looking for a sponsor for an immediate season. Maybe beginning of next year, so that we
Yeah.
are also able to give good content after living a certain period of time, experiencing our life in an enriching different way, and come back with a richer content that makes sense. Or
True.
not to say now don't make sense, but our
Yeah.
audience grow with us. So if we don't grow, then they'll be like, these two fellow don't need to listen. Forever talk the same thing, you know. So we want to grow with our audience. So yes, we are looking for sponsorship, but probably for the next season next year, and not this end of the year lah.
I got one last thing before we close. One thing I really took home from this season is how different we are.
Yeah.
And in talking about things, about life, or about how we were brought up, or how we view certain things.
At least there's no judgment there.
Yeah. It's sometimes I go home thinking like, oh, Gina very different, huh? Like I've known her. I mean, we work together. I've known her for don't know how many years, and I'm still thinking, wow,
Still got new things to
so many
discover.
different things. And if you look at demographic, we are same race, same religion, same
Correct.
that we have so many similarities, and yet we are so different, lah. So I think my take home for this, if I were to tell our listeners, right, is have conversations with your friends. Have conversations that's, I don't know, beyond just, okay, you can talk about movie, but go deeper than that, you know? I mean, it really enriches. And if you can do that with more Malaysians, maybe of different backgrounds, even better still, because I have found this to be very enriching lah, for myself lah.
Yeah. It also has been conversation starters with other people. You know, like I tell you lah, most of our listeners don't talk to us one. Only that rare few that does lah.
Okay.
And then they suddenly come talk to you. Hey, that day you talk about this topic. Now I want to talk to you about this topic. And I'm like, what? I just finished talking in the podcast, right?
Yeah.
And then they'll say, but I have an opinion that's different from Juwita and yours. Or I agree with Juwita. I don't agree with you. Or I agree half-half. And then it becomes a conversation starter. Which is what we wanted to in the first place lah.
That's why it's got Jom Sembang.
Yeah, so I think that has been well achieved. So
Yay.
yeah, it's been 25 plus 100 episode. We hope that we have inspired you to sembang with your friends. Please do reach out to us. You know, if you feel like no one's listening to you, we will be here to listen to you so that we can sembang together.
Jom Sembang Malaysia is hosted by two Malaysians who are passionate about Malaysian stuff.